Bounding into comics, Netflix reveals Masters of the Universe creative team aimed to design Teela with a more realistic muscular perspective, inspired by Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman and the Legend of Korra. Really? Well, I think they missed the mark quite a bit. Hello and welcome to my channel. I am the Anti-Woke Warrior. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Don't forget to make sure that you're still subscribed, and let's get on with this video. So the new Masters of the Universe or Revelations has been released on Netflix, and people are not liking it at all. So let's go through and see what Kevin Smith and Netflix have to say about the backlash to the show. Netflix has revealed that Teela was given her generic strong female design in Masters of the Universe Revelation in order to portray her with a more realistic muscular perspective. Do I not know the definition of the word perspective? Because it seems to me that they're using it incorrectly. The streaming giant felt it important that realism is included in the character design. Really? Then how come she's built like a brick outhouse? Women are not built this way naturally. This is not realistic. This is steroids and years of intensive training to get to be this way. I've spent a lot of time around gyms, a lot of time, and I knew women who were competing as bodybuilders that didn't look like this. I'm not joking, but whatever. See, on July 28th, the Netflix geeked Twitter account, whose content focuses on the platform's various nerd media, revealed to its followers that the Masters of the Universe Revelation creation team was inspired by Wonder Woman and the Legend of Korra, designing the woman of MOTUR with a more realistic muscular perspective than their past iterations. As I just said, that's ridiculous. Let's take a look at Korra here. Oh, there she is in all her muscle glory. She's not that muscular. I never watched this show. I don't see her. I see her being lean, and therefore her muscles that she does have show, but she's not yoked like Teela in this new Masters of the Universe. This is where they're saying that they are inspired by this. Here is Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman. I can see the definition of her shoulder, but her shoulder is 1/10 the size of Teela's. It's 1/8 the size of Evil Lynn's. Korra is not huge either here. In response to Netflix geeked tweet, another user sarcastically asserted, but thank God. In a show that allows a character to get a nice tan and become a total beefcake from holding up a piece of metal and saying a quick one-liner, it's really important that realism is included in the character design, they added. However, the brand account soon fired back, declaring, when women are often drawn unrealistically in so many forms of media, yeah, it's really important that realism is included in the character design. This is the most unrealistic female character I've ever seen. Look at this girl right here doing this yoga thing. She's probably young, but okay, she's a thin girl. How is it unrealistic to have Teela being thin? And the fact of the matter is that beautiful women exist. You don't know, these people don't know what they're talking about. They think that this Teela in Masters of the Universe Revelation is realistic. It's just not even a little bit. Of course, Netflix geeks attempt to portray their less than well-received Teela design as some sort of moral good was soon met with a wave of criticism, with many fans noting that not only did Teela not look realistic, but also that such realism was quite obviously not an issue taken under consideration when designing the show's male characters. That's for sure. Realistic? ? Teela injected the world's supply of steroids in this show. There is no resemblance to Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, right? She's definitely been cycling steroids. Sharing a pair of images depicting two separate women cosplaying as Teela in her original design, CBG Writing responded that there was nothing unrealistic about her original design. In fact, the OG version is more normal and a realistic and achievable body shape than the new one, they added. I suspect realistic is woke for less likely to be found hot by men. I don't know. Yeah, it's true. This one looks like it's a cosplay. This one almost looks like it's a toy, but maybe it's a cosplay. Now, the original Teela design that we saw in the original show, guess where that came from? They rotoscoped those people. If you don't know what rotoscopy is where you film somebody doing these actions and then you trace over the live action footage. So that person that Teela is, the unrealistic version of Teela in the original show is a tracing of a real person. So I don't know how you get Any more realistic than that in a drawing. Elvic. Gadot and Korra don't even have bodies like the ones in Teela's crappy show. Can they stop lying? I like Gadot as Wonder Woman, but she's hardly muscular. It's my main criticism of her in the role. Well, and some poor line delivery at times. And you look at the imagery, look how she has stick arms. Nothing wrong with that. I appreciate myself a nice thin woman. But the fact of the matter is, this is realism. This is more realistic than what you see in this Masters of the Universe show. Alongside a side-by-side comparison of He-Man's original and Revelation designs, Steven the artist offered his own sarcasm, telling Netflix Geeked that he was so glad to see a man of MOTUR have been designed with a more realistic muscular perspective than their past iteration as well. The unfair standard of masculinity in the original cartoon was very harmful to the self-esteem of young boys, he further mocked. Yeah, here it is. So you can see here, this version, the one on the left, was rotoscoped from an actual muscular man. And then we have this one here where he's like mountainously large. He's bigger than a human can be. He literally is in the show. If you haven't seen it, he's bigger than a human can be. That's the end of the article, all right? But we have more. We have more of this. Just get ready. And the funny thing about this design of these characters is it's all the girls. All the girls in the show are, except for one, and I'll talk about that here momentarily. But all of the girls in this show, I think her name's Arya. Look at her arms. They're huge. Evil Lynn is the same way. Evil Lynn is super muscular, super yoked. How is this realistic? Do you not like walk down the street and look at women? In the United States especially, if you want to make a realistic looking woman, you're going to make some short, fat girl. Because that's typical in the United States. So, the one, as I recall, I didn't pay that close attention, but as I recall, the one female in the show who looks realistic like a woman is the sorceress. And what did they do to her? They took her power away and made her a weak old woman. Yep. Teela here looks like a man. In the show, she looks like a man with makeup on. She cut her hair. Her hair looks better this way. She looks more powerful with the hair like this, which it was only like this for like 2 seconds in the whole show. And then we see it like this, where it's short and makes her look like a man wearing makeup. Yay, good job, guys. So she's yoked, and she has short hair. So she's just a dude. All right. It's not even the Teela show. It's Guy Who Wants to Be Teela show. Now we have Kevin Smith tells off toxic He-Man fans. Think Netflix series is too woke? Deal with it. Yeah, he tells us off all right. Kevin Smith's animated Netflix series Masters of the Universe Revelation is the latest bit of franchise IP to become the victim of toxic fandom. Similar to Rian Johnson's Star Wars The Last Jedi, The Force Awakens is a much worse movie. All right, I did like 3 hours and 15 minutes of videos on The Force Awakens and how terrible it is. Just go watch them. I'm not going to get into this. This is not what this video is about. Smith's direct sequel series to He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. This name seems awfully fishy. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, from 1983 to 1985, is being review bombed on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb and trolled on social media for taking the franchise in directions fans don't agree. A lot of toxic backlash stems from Smith's decision to seemingly kill off main characters He-Man and Skeletor in the pilot episode. The twist allows supporting characters like the female warrior Teela to assume lead roles as they search for magic that can bring He-Man back. No, the problem is he lied. If he had said, this is going to be the Teela show, we're going to focus on a fanfic film or a fanfic series where Teela is the main character and we're going to explore that character and what we can do with it. Or her. That people would have been like, oh, okay, all right. Is it going to be woke? And he would have said, no, it's not going to be woke. And then it would have turned out to be woke and people would have complained about that. I know there's some people that are like, hey, man, this show's woke, Smith told Variety about the backlash. I'm like, all right, great. Then so was the original cartoon. We're effing sequelizing. Go watch it again. There are girls in every episode. Deal with it. Putting girls in your artwork does not make it woke. Okay? Aliens, featuring Ripley, who was a female, and there was another female character in the show too who figured prominently. She was a Marine. That show is not woke. Not even a little bit woke. Sarah Connor does not make Terminator woke. Okay? Putting women in your show does not make them woke. Putting women in your artwork does not make it woke. Saying that women are just as good and capable as men in everything that they do and they can replace men and do a better job of it is woke. Lying to people and saying, hey, this is going to be a He-Man show, but we're going to put a gay version of Teela in the show instead is woke. a gay yoked version of Teela. It's been interesting seeing who truly is a hardcore fan, Smith added, because anybody that's like, oh man, there's not enough He-Man or something like that, doesn't understand the show that we based it on. There were episodes where he lost the sword and he never became He-Man. It wasn't like He-Man always saved the day. His friends helped him. That was the effing point of the show. No, no, no. There was, I think, only one episode that did not have He-Man or Adam in it out of the entire 3-year series. And it wasn't like, oh, we have 24 episodes. No, they had like 60 episodes of series. So it's like 180 episodes. In fact, I'm going to look it up right now, let you know. IMDb, He-Man, and I apologize. Okay, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Does it say how many episodes? Stop it. 130 episodes in 3 years. And I think out of all that, one of them didn't have Adam or He-Man in it, as I recall. And there were times when, yeah, he lost his sword and he couldn't change into He-Man, but it was still Adam was featured heavily in the show. So you made a show that doesn't have He-Man in it. The show was 95% about He-Man. In fact, there were the cutscenes. They would show the word He-Man. There was like a little and He-Man, the word He-Man would appear. And they even put the word He-Man, they chanted it in the music. They would have this instrumental music, instrumental action music playing around the action scenes, during the action scenes, and they would have singers say the word He-Man. In fact, I'm going to show you examples of those things happening right now.
It's not fair, but I'm going to see it. I'm gonna. Rope, lantern, phosphor crystals.
He-Man, what are you doing here?
No time to talk. Stanley is in there.
Smith told Variety he took on Masters of the Universe Revelation in part because he wanted to be true to the franchise and not reinvent it for modern age. Then how come you reinvented it for modern age? You're lying here again. You took it on because you wanted a paycheck. The showrunner said of his approach to the series, all we have to do is not disavow anything. Nobody's saying, hey man, everything you knew about He-Man was wrong. It's like, no, everything you knew was absolutely right. And now this is what happened when they finally had their epic battle. And what happened after that? It's not the He-Man show. You could have done this very easily. You could have said, okay, I'm going to ruin the first episode for you. First off, they kill 2 of the characters, hands down, in the first episode. And we never saw people dying in the original show. Ever. Not even once did people die, as I recall. There might have been, the original stories might have included, so-and-so died. Like, we went to this village, my father died, and now we have to deal with how we protect this village because the warrior's gone, or something like that. I don't remember every episode. But none of the main characters died. In the first episode, they kill off 2 of the main characters, and then He-Man gruesomely wounds Skeletor. And we never saw any gore at all in the original series. These are the things that people are complaining about, that it's not true to the original series. And then we are, led to believe that He-Man and Skeletor are dead. And nobody believes that. Nobody believes that He-Man and Skeletor are dead. And Adam is dead. Nobody believes any of that. They break the sword apart, because it's supposed to be 2 swords. That's what the toy was. And what the thing to do would have been is to have the sword break apart, have He-Man turn back into Adam, and then have Adam go on the quest to get his swords back. That way it's true to He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Okay? Instead, you had He-Man and Adam disappear. I'm going to ruin another part for you. So the queen, Adam's mother, the queen, knows that Adam was actually He-Man. That was a fan theory. There's no real proof to support that idea. There's you can point it out in episodes and say, look, she knows. But they don't come out and say that she knows that that Adam is He-Man. But they put that in there because they had to go and do all this stupid fan service that doesn't make any sense. No, what they did instead was have Teela take over the reins. Teela take the reins. They even disgraced Duncan, her Man-at-Arms, her father. It's not true to the original. Okay, that's not how the original would have done this. And the original was not serialized. They were almost always a one-off. Sometimes they had a show that was like 2 episodes long. The story was like 2 episodes long, but typically it was just everything was a one-off. He-Man still appears in Revelation via flashbacks and later rejoins the show in a more present capacity. For He-Man voice actor Chris Wood, the decision to shake up the character roster in this series was refreshing and brought instant real-world stakes to the animated series. Again, you can do this by making Adam unable to turn into He-Man, because Adam is mortal. He-Man is basically not. It was jarring, but in a really amazing way, because Skeletor and He-Man, there was no real urgency or life or death stakes to their battles in the original. Yes, because it was for children. It was a boys' power fantasy. These little boys want to be big and strong. And here they go. They got this He-Man character. They can see a weak version of a man turning into a strong version of a man. They're like, that could be me. I could be that person. I don't know why they don't understand this. Rob David, Vice President of Content Creative at Mattel Television, also defended the storytelling decision. My favorite movies are The Empire Strikes Back, The Wrath of Khan. He said, the hero gets really hit hard, and then the story becomes about how the hero gets back up again and better and stronger than ever. In basically stripping away all the comforts the hero took for granted, the hero reveals to him or herself what truly makes them strong inside and then have to rebuild. Yeah, but that didn't happen in this show. The show does not show Adam rebuilding himself to be He-Man, to be worthy of being He-Man. The show shows us Teela and how unworthy she is of being anything other than a villain in the show. She's got a terrible attitude. It's just, okay. We thought by having an unexpected character, Teela, go on that. How is that she an unexpected character? An unexpected character would be Snout Spout. An unexpected character go on that journey in real time with the audience. David continued, we would be able to really hit just how important He-Man is and just how important those themes are. It's now streaming on Netflix. We have another article we can look at here. This one we're going to skip ahead. It's on Cinema Blend. Kevin Smith unloads F-bombs on He-Man fans angry with Netflix Masters of the Universe series. And we're going to skip down a little ways because this right here we already read in the last article. Kevin Smith obviously doesn't believe Masters of the Universe Revelation is a betrayal of the original adventures. And he challenges anyone who doesn't feel the same to go back and take in the original animated series with their current mindset to see just how different or same the two projects really are. I remember the original series well enough that I don't need to do that. You can go watch the original series. They're easy to find on the internet. They are god-awful. I'm not joking. They're made for children. They only appeal to children because adults aren't going to put up... It's obviously stupid. It is obviously... It's like, wow, this is really bad. This Revelation, you have to think about the plot holes. You have to actually think, oh, wait a second. There's a plot hole right there. I see it, yeah. But in the original, it's like plot holes all over the place. They didn't matter. They're selling an action adventure to children to sell toys. As long as they achieved those goals, they were happy. And I see what they're doing with this Masters of the Universe Revelation is they are making that original series adult. That's what they've done with it. At least that's what they've attempted to do. That's what it seems like to me, because they're killing people, they're showing gore and violence, they're doing more adult type themes in the show. And it is an interesting idea because they reduce magic to almost nothing in the show. So it's like, how do we survive without this technology that we've relied on for thousands of years? It could be a really interesting show and a good idea, but don't lie and say this is going to be a He-Man show, and don't tell me that it's not going to be woke when it's totally woke. Of course, Kevin Smith didn't necessarily directly speak to the complaint that He-Man or Prince Adam isn't in the bulk of the first part, just that it was dumb to gripe about a female character leading the series early episodes. No, it's not. It is definitely not. Not when you're talking about He-Man. A lot of fans paying attention to trailers and early reports probably already expected that going in. And while the first half of season 1 ended in what looked like a tragic death, it takes a massive suspension of disbelief to think that He-Man has been killed off for good. Smith implied the character's imminent return by chiding anyone who truly believed that he created a Matu series that fully ditches its signature hero. Okay. I see people online going, hey man, they're getting rid of He-Man. Like, you really effing think Mattel Television, who hired me and paid me money, wants to do a effing Masters of the Universe show without He-Man? Grow the F up, man. Like, what blew my mind? A bunch of people being like, oh, I smell it. This is a bait and switch. It is a bait and switch. You told us it was going to be a He-Man show. which we had every reason to believe, and then you made it a Teela show. And you didn't really make it Teela. You made it like drag queen Teela show. It was not real Teela. It's a dude who wants to be Teela, pretending to be Teela. No, Kevin Smith didn't permanently kill off He-Man or Prince Adam, and Rod David, vice president of content creative at Mattel Television, further explained, spoiler, that part 2 will see Adam recover from Skeletor's gruesome blow, and presumably not in a way that forces him to settle down in a nice retirement community. Ultimately, the goal will be to explore who Adam is as a character and what made him worthy of the he power, while not shying away from Teela's she power. Whether fans will be receptive to all that remains to be seen, but I'd expect more F-bombs coming from Smith's direction, yeah. So the thing is, the 2002 version of Masters of the Universe was really awesome, and they did a really good job with Teela. She was very strong, confident. She was strong and confident in the original series too, but we see her like grow as a character, and she has a really interesting backstory and origin and all this other stuff going on in her life that makes her a dynamic character. You're trying to tell me that what we see in this show is dynamic, and it's not. It's just about, oh, look, women can be strong as men too. Look at that. They're so awesome. Look how strong. Rah, rah, women go. Rah, rah, rah. But it's not true. Women cannot be as strong as men physically, okay? They're just not. That's a law of nature. Women are weaker. I don't know what to tell you other than that's the way it is. I'm sorry if you find that offensive, but you know what? The NFL is a co-ed league. I don't see any women trying out for it. So yeah, this has been a mess. The lies and the deception. Also the pushing of the gay agenda. I get an impression of that in the first 2 episodes. Well, in the second episode, more than anything, we're going to make this, pander to the gay agenda. So yeah, it's totally woke. That's the problem. It's not as woke as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like super woke. Just everything is going to be about men are stupid. But I mean, Man-at-Arms, and if you haven't seen it, Man-at-Arms is awesome in this. He is really good. So they do actually toss the men a bone. But yeah, it's about women. It's really just like the women are the main characters. Okay, how come it's called He-Man then? No, it's called Masters of the Universe. Don't you know? Yeah, you're just using that as a cover so that you can have this hyper-masculine woman in your show. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.